Have you ever heard of loop scheduling? Here's one way that we have used that idea in kind of a new way to work some skills practice into our day. Hey friends, welcome back to Regular Secular Mama. If you're new here, my name is Cassie, and I'm a 6th-year homeschooling mom to 2 kiddos who are currently ages 9 and 12 years old. Before we get into it, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, hit the subscribe button, and also hit the bell for notifications. That way you get notified every time I post a new video. Today's video is a really quick, short overview of how we use the term loop scheduling in kind of a new way. Even if you are brand new to homeschooling, you've probably seen or heard the term loop scheduling before, or loop routines, or something along those lines. This term usually refers to some sort of list of activities or skills or subjects that you want to come back to on a regular basis to kind of work your way through things without having such a strict schedule of, Monday we do this, Tuesday we do this. This type of scheduling really helps a lot when you don't like that feeling of sticking to a strict schedule, or you really don't like feeling like you're behind on things. One way of loop scheduling that has worked really well for us in the past year or maybe year and a half or so is what I call loop jars. It's about the simplest form of loop scheduling that I could possibly come up with. And basically, all it is a container or a jar of some sort with little slips of paper that have the activities or skills that you want to work on. For example, this is my daughter's loop jar. When we lived in our brick and mortar house in Texas, we actually had mason jars. I think each kid had a quart jar, and then there was a discard jar in the middle. But now we use these plastic containers because they fit really nicely on our rolling carts over by our kitchen island. And all they have is these little slips of paper that are folded up. And each slip of paper has a different workbook that they're working through or a skill that they're working on. And these are things that don't need to happen every single day, but that I wanted to make sure we touched on at least here and there. So for example, I have Explode the Code, which is something that I don't really care if she does, but she likes doing it. It's fun for her, and she asked to keep it in her loop jar, so it's in there. Another example is a map workbook that she's working through. And basically it's just, it talks about like highway systems and how to read road maps or using longitude and latitude. These are things that don't really come up when we have geography or map activities in history. So I like that they have access to that in a workbook. Let's see, another one is a logic workbook that they're working through. And these are just workbooks that they picked from Critical Thinking Company. So these are just to give you some examples, some ideas. If you want to make your own, it's super simple. All you have to do is come up with a list of skills or workbooks or activities that you want to do, but maybe not every single day. Then you want to decide how often you actually want to do these things. So most of the things that I have in the kids' loop jars are about the same frequency. So I'll have maybe 5 or 8 of the same thing in their jar, but let's say I want to make sure that she gets to her map workbook a little more frequently. I will add more slips of that paper and maybe have, 12 or 15 slips of that paper. Then I'll know that she'll be drawing that piece of paper a little more frequently, and she'll be practicing that more frequently. And then you just choose some sort of vessel or jar or bucket or pencil box that you can stash away, or something that they can draw from. And you can use anything. I use little slips of paper. You could maybe have colored beads, and each color is a different activity. You could have popsicle sticks that you write on, and you just move them, back and forth between jars. I found it really helpful to have a separate jar that was just for discarding things that they've used. That way, it seems like they go through their loop activities a little more consistently. If you have heard me use the term loop jars in other videos, now you have a better idea of what exactly that is, what it looks like, and how you might be able to use that in your homeschool to work on some extra skills. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Let me know if you tried it and if you guys liked it. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!